Long ago, in a big village, there was a young man named Kofi. Kofi was very rich. He had big farms, many cows, and a house made of the finest wood. But Kofi had one problem. He did not know who truly loved him. Many women in the village wanted to marry him, but he was not sure if they loved him or his wealth. So Kofi had an idea. He decided to wear old, torn clothes. He left his big house and walked around the village like a poor man. He wanted to see who would love him for who he was, not for his money. One day, Kofi went to the market. He saw many women selling food and clothes. Some looked at him and laughed. "Look at this man, his clothes are full of holes," one woman said. "Maybe he has no home," another said. Kofi just smiled and walked on. Then he saw a young woman named Adwoa. She was selling fruits. Her dress was simple but clean. She smiled at everyone who came to her stall. Kofi walked up to her. "Good afternoon, sister," he said. "Can I have one banana? But I have no money." Adwoa looked at him kindly. "That is no problem, brother. You must be hungry. Here, take 2 bananas." Kofi was happy. "Thank you," he said. "You are very kind." From that day, Kofi visited Adwoa every market day. Sometimes he helped her carry her basket. Sometimes he helped her count her money. Adwoa liked talking to Kofi. He was funny and smart, but she did not know he was rich. One evening, Adwoa asked, "Kofi, where do you live?" Kofi smiled. "I live outside the village, in a small house." Adwoa nodded. "One day I will visit you." Kofi was quiet. He did not want to lie, but he also did not want to tell the truth yet. One day, Kofi heard some men talking. "Did you hear?" one said. "The rich man of this village is looking for a wife." "Yes," the other man said. "Every woman wants to marry him. He is richer than the chief." Kofi saw Adwoa listening. She looked at them and shook her head. "Why don't you look happy?" Kofi asked. Adwoa sighed. "Because I do not want to marry a man just because he is rich. I want a kind man, a man who will love me and respect me." Kofi's heart was full of joy. He knew that Adwoa was the one. The next morning, Kofi put on his best clothes. He went to the market with his servants and horses. Everyone looked at him in surprise. "Is that Kofi?" they whispered. "But we thought he was poor." Kofi went to Adwoa's stall. She was shocked. "Kofi, what is this?" she asked. Kofi smiled. "Adwoa, I am the rich man of this village, but I wanted to find true love. You gave me food when I had nothing. You were kind when others laughed at me. Will you marry me?" Tears filled Adwoa's eyes. She smiled and said, "Yes, Kofi, I will marry you." The whole village came to their wedding. Kofi and Adwoa lived happily, not just with riches, but with true love. And from that day, people learned an important lesson. A good heart is more precious than gold.